coving, I laid down 2 layers of double bias tape to bond the top side with the wing deck. The design calls for a 300mm coving in this area, so I've made up a Perspex template that's got a 300mm radius, and as you can see there's quite a bit of fill to go in there. So what we do is cut some foam on the saw bench, and that will fill in the bulk of it, and then we'll just cove over top. So that will go down there, and coving tool, as you can see, fits perfectly. So it'll fill in top and bottom of that and give a nice round curve that we can fair up and finish off appropriately later on. So my job now is to epoxy glue those in place, and perhaps later on might get a chance at doing the actual coving. It was crucial while doing this to not create air pockets, so I was quite liberal with the epoxy glue. Once a microballoon epoxy fill has been added and fed, 2 more layers of glass is added to what is a major hull joint. As was done on the cabin top, microballoon plaster is laid over the entire hull, in readiness for that beloved ritual of boat builders, sanding. Right, what will be the port top side has been totally plastered with a epoxy microballoon mix. The aft section here has had one sanding and been spot filled. So tomorrow that'll be sanded off, and the forward section will be sanded and spot filled, and after that we move up to the, well, what is the bottom of the boat. Uh-oh, I think my granddaughter's cheeky dogs have arrived again.
Come on, Grandad, put your back into it.
This looks like hard work. I made you some tea for when you're finished.
Keep going, you've got this.
Why is he brushing the boat?
He's not brushing it, he's sanding it.
Oh.
Why is he dressed like a marshmallow?
To protect himself from the fibreglass dust.
That makes sense.
What did the dog say to the sandpaper?
What?
What?
That's rough.
Ha! Oh, I think he's almost finished.
Woohoo!
Way to go, Grandad.
Yay!
Good work.
The bottom of the hull is supported and stiffened by a skeg, which is a type of keel, and it's made up of treated pine capped by a strip of hardwood, and in this case I've used Australian jarrah. And by ripping the glued up laminates diagonally, I was able to get both skegs done at the same time. By the way, the few knotty bits you can see in the timber there, I actually cleaned those out and filled them up with filler. After the skeg on the port hull is glued and coved in place, several layers of fibreglass are applied to firmly secure it to the hull. With a bit more filling and sanding on and around the skeg, we are ready for the high build paint application. Had a busy day today. I've got heavy layers of the high build undercoat on the boat, and meanwhile outside, it's blowing like hell and raining. There's actually a cyclone about 100 kilometres up the coast heading this way, so I better head home shortly because it's going to go off the scale shortly. But anyway, we've got a lot of work done. A couple of days ago I applied a generous coating of a high build surfacer, and today I've got the job of sanding it down. Now most of the hull is pre-laminated and flat when it was put onto the boat, so it's relatively fair. There's no great ups and downs in it, but the area from here up was strip planked. Some of the planks were only 25 mils wide, others were 50. So it's an area I've got to pay a lot of attention to, and already you can see from where I've longboarded it that we've got high spots and low spots. These will be filled a little later on, but down here it's pretty good, and I can actually use the orbital sander on the flat sections, but certainly on the curves there's no alternative to the longboard. As you can see, this is going to take a while. Hard work too. I've actually lost 4 kilograms since I started this boat, so I'm a lot fitter, and it can only be good for you. Unfortunately, I had to wait 2 days before I can sand it again, so I've actually made a start on the other half of the hull, namely preparing the laminated foam sheets that we use for the strip planking. I've already done one side, so flip them over, and I'll now glass on the, I think it's what, 450 uni cloth, and have them ready for ripping down to do the strip planking. Meanwhile, the CNC router winds on. I'm cutting the many foam panels for the starboard hull, while waiting for coats of paint and fillers to dry and harden. These machines have been an absolute godsend to boat builders, in terms of both accuracy and time saving. This is the first of quite a few barrier undercoats. Now this paint is impervious to water and is very easily sanded. Now to remove the jig in readiness for turning the hull. Using blocks and pneumatic jacks, the hull was raised a few inches off the ground, and the frames unscrewed and removed piece by piece. Everything is ready to go: ropes, pulleys, blocks and jacks. It's a somewhat complex and tricky operation by yourself, but careful management ensured that it was safe. And to create space for the other hull, I'm actually only turning it 90 degrees. My method: with the rope and tackle, raise the wing deck. With the pinch bar, lever the gunnel towards the wall. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. It's at the point of balance right there, so it's ready to flip right over. Hey! Made it. I got it where I want it.
That's all for today, folks.
See you next week.
Make sure to like and subscribe.